Do you know that feeling? When you die for the 100th time on a boss. Turns out, a game that hard is only level 1. So level by level, we will see what makes the hardest games. And the final level hides a story. Because as I found out, publishers started making games unbeatably hard to save their businesses from dying. Plus, I'll show you a game that throws the literal moon at you, just to stop you from beating it. In Elden Ring, you run around as a tiny guy with a toothpick, and your job is to take down giants that can kill you with one step. Right at the start, there is a boss waiting just outside your spawn. The game gives you very little information how to beat him, and you need to master multiple moves to beat that horse guy. So yes, it's a hard game, but very often it lets you walk around that difficulty. How? Let's say you're stuck on a boss. He's beating you into the ground. You feel like you have zero chance, standing in the corner shaking out of fear. Maybe you don't feel like learning his every move perfectly. Or maybe you simply can't pull it off mechanically, and that's fine too. So you go somewhere else. You level up your character, you find a new broken sword that shoots magic rings. You find upgrade stones, you upgrade that weapon, and then you come back to the same boss. And now he is sitting in the corner, afraid of your power. That is walking around the wall. You find a hard boss you can't beat, so you leave and come back later, stronger. And that's the first ingredient of every hard game, the wall. Something that stops you until you beat it. Elden Ring just lets you walk around it. You can even summon help before a boss fight. I remember doing that with an early game boss. A player that looked like level 100 mage appeared and melted the boss with blue laser. On level 2, there is no mage to help you. You're on your own. In Silksong, you're also a tiny guy with a toothpick, or a needle to be more specific. There is no walking around the wall anymore. The world is not as open. You can unlock some basic mechanics like a dash or the umbrella flying, but to beat a boss, you have to play it clean, with your own 2 hands. That's ingredient 2, mechanical perfection. You can't go make yourself 4 times stronger and come back. And man, that would really help here. Because this game is very hard. Meteor showers, tiny platforms, fast bosses, healing isn't free either. There are no healing potions, and enemies kill you fast. Almost everything, especially bosses, kill you with about 3 hits. They kill so fast that somewhere around the 3rd boss I went, "Fuck this game, I'd rather walk on hot coals." The bench, your checkpoint, can be far away from the boss, so every death means running back through enemies, and that run back can kill you too, sending you back to the spawn again. The good news is, you can respawn and go again right away, so 50 or 100 tries on one boss, not that big of a deal. On the next level, every one of those 100 tries would cost you not minutes, but hours. Here we play as a normal guy. This time, instead of a toothpick, we use rifles. And the world is 3D again. In Elden Ring or Silksong, dying doesn't take away your hard-earned weapons. Here, death means hours of progress gone, which made me scream my guts out multiple times. That's ingredient 3. Full loot stakes. When dying, takes everything you carried. You go into every raid wearing gear. That gear is complicated, made of many pieces, and most importantly, often expensive and hard to get. And the only fully safe way to keep it is to extract from a raid, as this is an extraction shooter. But a single mechanic keeps it incredibly easy to lose everything. Your head has very low HP compared to the bullet's damage. One shot to the head kills from literally anything. A shotgun at 20 meters also kills. Unless you know what to wear. Tarkov tries to be very realistic on many fronts. That includes the guns, the bullet physics, and how the bullets hit armor and bodies. If you gear up wrong, your 10 shots to the enemy's head won't kill him, because he's wearing steel plate on his head like it came with a tank, while you shoot nerve bullets. And he kills you with 1 bullet because he is instead shooting with ammo that would penetrate a tank. Why this gap? Because he has 3,500 hours in this game. And for you, it's a first rate. On top of that, you drop into the map with around 10 random players. Most of them know where to loot and where to position. You don't. You walk, you die. You don't know where from. Which is also the case for me, even after 1000 1000 hours. You don't even see the guy shooting because he was hiding, and you lose all your gear again and again. Until you learn. After 500 hours, you will know how to move, so you don't die as often. Because even how hard Tarkov is, you can play like a complete rat, hiding from every fight and extract without shooting a single bullet. In the next game, you can't fight your way to the top of the food chain, and no amount of hours will stop you from being prey. In Rain World, you play as a weak little slug cat. After an unlucky accident that separated the cute slug cat from its family and saved her life, it has to survive in a place haunted by deadly rain, the rain from the game's title. The world is filled with life, predators, prey, living plants that all compete with you to survive. The slug cat is a rather low-life form that's at the bottom of the food chain, completely unable to fight itself with the strong predators. You have to navigate it safely using cleverness instead of brute force, and these predators have their own brains. What do I mean, their own brains? The world keeps happening even where you're not looking. The enemies simulate life. They move how they want, they do what they want. Even their movements are free. They can attempt jumps and fail, and it means they can pull off unpredictable attacks. Ingredient 4. Chaos. A world that doesn't follow a script. You can't memorize what was never planned. When I played Rain World myself, I didn't get too far. Right when I finally learned how to turn those crocodiles into kebabs, it suddenly turned out that the ropes you climb on are not climbing ropes at all. They were some kind of carnivorous plant that ate me. And I won't even mention the rain that swept me away right after I got past all those bloodthirsty beasts. Now, sure, somewhere along the way, you can learn what to expect from these AI crocs, but in Rain World, there is no better gear to find. There is no leveling up like back in Elden Ring. And I wish there was, because I got eaten so many times, I'd love to beef up and RKO them into the abyss. Nothing like that exists here, and that alone is enough to make this harder than Tarkov. But what even is an unpredictable attack when every single pixel is unpredictable, and most of the time you die from your own weapon? Noita is a journey where you explode yourself with powerful spells in a fully destructible world. Wait, the whole world is destructible? Yeah. The whole world is simulated, meaning every pixel can interact with anything the game has to offer. For example, you can power a bottle of water into green acid, and the water neutralizes it. Or you can throw a giant TNT and blow up half of the screen, all enemies, and yourself. Because in this game, you are your own biggest enemy. And keep in mind, there is no extra life, no respawning. Ingredient 5. Permadeath. One death, and the whole run is gone. In Noita, you play a powerful mage who wants to deepen his alchemical knowledge. Your main weapon, a magical stick, often called a wand. And in Noita's sandbox spirit, they are fully customizable. How? Every wand has a slot for spells, and you put spells into them like items into an inventory. Then the wand casts those spells in order. This lets you build, for example, a projectile that splits into 5 after exploding, and each of those 5 is modified to explode again. Or 3 giant blade projectiles that, as it turns out, fly right back at you! Oh, that spell combination just exploded in your face right after casting. Oh well. And obviously, self-kills aren't the only threat. The world is filled with numerous bosses scattered across various biomes. Each biome offers different kinds of traps and effects. For example, this biome is filled with high-pressure containers that explode and fill the room with deadly freezing vapor. Just a few seconds in it and I'm dead. And healing very hard to come by. Getting the ultimate 33 or print takes an incredible amount of knowledge about the game, about builds and strategies. When it comes to knowledge helping you here, you need to read an entire Wikipedia. It's just that all of that help, knowledge and strategies, they won't save you from one mistake that deletes you from the map. One player on Steam described how he ended his 10-hour-long 33 orb run. He accidentally fired his own storage wand and killed himself in one frame. Somehow, the next level is a game that wants to kill you even more than this mix of monsters and TNT. We've arrived at a place where a game was made literally to be hard. The developer himself says he made it as a kind of parody of the brutally hard games of the past. What looks like a simple platformer is in reality a challenge where you test your own limits of how much mental pain you can survive. I Wanna Be the Guy is designed so that you constantly get surprised. But there is not a single nice surprise. Every moment the map changes in ways you can't even react to. And even when you learn what's coming, say a moon falls right here, you still need a great reflex to actually respond to it. Oh, but the moon isn't done yet. What did you even do to make it that mad? In short, this entire environment is built to keep killing the player in absurd or non-obvious ways. Ingredient 6, the aggressive environment. The map itself wants you dead, in ways you can't avoid, only learn. So if you die non-stop, what happens after you die? It depends on difficulty level, as it dictates the number of checkpoints across the game. Remember the benches from Silksong? Here, on impossible mode, there are none at all. Every death sends you right back to the start of the game. So if you love being a masochist, that's a game for you. This game officially belongs to a category called Massacre, games with unfair design, made to torment the player who is supposed to enjoy it. I've no idea how can someone have fun playing I Wanna Be the Guy. This is pure pain and madness. A bit like Super Meat Boy, except this game never stops throwing things at you. So here we met design that was created on purpose to bully the player. But like I mentioned, this game is a parody of old titles, and one of those legendary old titles is our level 7.
Ow!
In the 80s and 90s, something big happened in the still young world of video games. This one event made developers start producing mercilessly hard games. So hard that beating them took months, even though the game was literally 256 kilobytes, music included. For comparison, one average song today takes about 3500 kilobytes. That's over 13 times more than the entire game. Battletoads, because that's our level 7 title. It's an extremely hard game and there is a genuinely unique story behind it. The game came out in 1991, costing the standard price at the time, $55.95. Adjust that for inflation and you get about $130 today, which is completely insane, way more than GTA 6. That price comes from the game being on a cartridge, which was expensive to produce. No wonder it made players try to get the game for cheaper. NES games, because that's what you played Battletoads on, were a relatively luxury good. One cartridge meant one game. Because it was on a cartridge, you could resell the game after beating it. Or instead ever buying the pricey NES games, you could do this simple thing that was becoming popular back then, when game rental stores started ruling the US market around 1989 to 1995. Players loved them. Renting a game cost way less than buying it, and the publisher didn't earn a single cent on a rental. So let's do a quick quiz. How much did it cost to rent a game for long enough to beat the whole thing in a weekend? A. $20. B. $14.99, C. $8.89, D. $5. Just a reminder, the games back then took around 4 to 6 hours. You could beat the entire game in a single rental. Got your guess? Great. Answer is $5. Yeah, for just $5, 11 times less than buying. You got the game for 3 whole days. Enough time to finish it. It was even enough time for your brother and your cousin to finish it too, saving you all $160, almost $400 in today's money. Money the publishers never saw. And publishers absolutely hated this. Because of this shift where players rented games instead of buying them, publishers started designing games completely differently. On purpose. They began adding extremely hard levels right near the start of the game. Levels that took tons and tons of attempts to get through. One of the most infamous of these levels is in Battletoads, the Turbo Tunnel. The Turbo Tunnel. Nightmare of many 90s kids. It took months of their lives. The turbo tunnel is a wall, just like the one in Elden Ring, except this one was built so you can't walk around it. And that's the final ingredient, the payment wall. Difficulty placed right at the start, so a rented weekend was never enough, so you'd have to buy the game and keep it. But the publishers didn't stop there. They kept adding more of these extremely hard levels later into the game. Beating these extra hard games in one weekend became absolutely impossible. Not even a week would be enough. You need months of life to beat the Battletoads. You had to be mercilessly stubborn to do it. And you needed great reflexes, hand-eye coordination and muscle memory. All of that to beat 5-hour-long game. So that's the whole climb. We started with a wall you could just walk around. And we ended with a wall built to make you pay. A wall meant to save a dying business. 7 games, 7 ingredients. Stack enough of them on top of each other and fun slowly turns into pain. At some point, game's difficulty stops being a feature and starts being a problem. Personally, I like these games up to difficulty level 5. That's where the fun is for me. 6, 7, that's just pain. Those games are designed around difficulty. Fun for only the most persistent. This is John's Alchemy, make sure to subscribe. And please let me know what was the hardest game that you ever played.